Oh yeah, we back with another episode of The Twisted T2, baby, where we like to read these Reddits to you. Now, if you missed it, feel free to check out some of those episodes from before. But today, we're getting into a little bit more family drama. That's right, we got somebody who wants to know if they the asshole because they're refusing to attend their sister's wedding. And they damn sure won't be given a gift, especially after finding out that his wife wasn't invited. I know, sounds crazy. Let's get into it. It says, my 32-year-old sister and 28-year-old female, they're gonna be getting married in a few weeks. She recently sent out the official invites. And while I was included, my wife, who's 30, guess what? Was not. Damn. When I asked about it, my sister told me the decision was intentional. Well, shit. She said she wants her wedding to be as peaceful as possible, and that she doesn't feel comfortable having my wife there. For context, a little background information, my wife and my sister, well, they've never gotten along in particular. They just haven't liked each other, and that's cool. There's no major incident or an explosive history. It's just a mutual dislike for each other. And guess what? That shit happens. And a few passive aggressive exchanges over the years. Now, I said, with that being said, my wife has always been respectful at family gatherings, and I've never seen her act out. What makes it worse though is that my ex-girlfriend, whom I dated for 4 years before meeting my wife, she's invited. Yeah, that shit, dude, that's a sticky situation. It does make it messy. My sister remained friends with her after we broke up 6 years ago. I didn't love it, but I never made an issue out of it. Well, that should have told you something then. Still, it's incredibly hurtful to see that my sister would rather someone from my past than, mind you, I haven't even spoke to this person in years over someone I've chosen to build my life with. I told my sister that I wasn't comfortable attending under these circumstances, and that, well, I wouldn't be sending a gift either. I said, if she doesn't recognize my wife as a part of the family, then she shouldn't expect me to play along and celebrate as if everything is fine. She accused me of being petty and trying to punish her for just setting boundaries. My parents have since called me and said, look, you're overreacting. You should go just to keep the peace. Ain't that some bullshit? To me, it feels like more than a disagreement. It feels like a fundamental lack of respect for my wife and my marriage. Realistically, a real lack of respect for my marriage. But the family seems to think, oh, I'm making it about me. Now I'm sitting here typing to you, wondering, am I the asshole for refusing to attend the wedding and declining to give a gift because of how my wife's being treated? Well, damn, man. No entry, 4129. Here's what I will say before we get into some of those comments. I personally don't think you're being an asshole. I personally think you're doing the right thing. Listen, okay? Your sister made the choice to not keep the peace by not inviting your wife. Again, someone you chose to bring into your life and spend the rest of your life with. Okay? When you married your wife, your sister was probably there. And now that she's having her big day, of course she's gonna make it about her. But this just speaks to how a lot of times people act out through their emotions. Okay? Because your sister choosing not to invite your wife was an emotion-based driven decision, and that's petty. Because if you're telling us Your wife has never actually acted out at any of the family gatherings, hasn't caused any scenes. They get some passive aggressive remarks towards each other. Big deal. Your sister's the child in this situation, and just because she's 32 doesn't mean that she's gonna act her age. She's more like acting 23. All right? And well, her spouse probably told her the same thing. No, don't invite her. We won't want any problems. But now you're sitting here feeling some type of way, and you should. Me personally, I would have responded the same way you did. It might have been a little worse because I probably would have stepped to my sister's level and just told her, well, if we both ain't coming, we both ain't going. And for damn sure don't expect me to waste my money on some shit for your ass after you shown me some new shit. I wouldn't be doing it, all right? Unless I'm sending your ass a bag of shit. That's right, a dog bag of shit. Period. Sounds like I'm being the asshole. I'm just being the person that shows you cause and effect. You chose to cause the situation, sis, by not inviting my spouse. No problem. You don't care about us like that. That's cool. And now we understand it. So now you put a line in the sand that I know. And I know now where we truly stand. Now, I really wouldn't give two shits about what my parents had to say, because they over here playing the let's keep the peace game, and it seems like they've been catering to your sister's peace and bullshit for quite some time. So I'd let them know too. Do they feel the same way about my wife? Or are they just playing a game so that way they don't get cussed out later by my sister? Which is also unfair, because if we're family, we family. Period. No ands, no ifs, no buts about it. Alright? Case in point. True statement. Listen, I love some of my family members that I don't talk to because they've showed me the line in the sand of which I know to leave it there. Now, on my happy days, I invite them so they can celebrate with me too. And we keep it just as cordial. But we don't go out our way to try to do no extra shit on a regular day. And I feel like now that you know what it is, if I were you, I wouldn't go out my way to do no extra shit for my sisters on a regular day, because they just showed you they could care less about your actual feelings because she didn't think about them. She knew that it was going to hurt you not to allow your wife to come with you as a partner. I also question the fact that she invited your ex, and if she was trying to pull some bullshit, expecting you two to get kind of tipsy and hook back up to fuck up your marriage. That's right, conniving shit is going on. And I'm glad you're smart enough to say you don't want to take part in it, because that's the right thing to do. We're not here to keep the peace. We're here to make sure that people treat each other with respect regardless. And if it ain't going both ways, you keep it moving. Let's dive into some of these comments and see what they say, whether or not they think you're the asshole or not. So, not the A. Let me guess. Your ex is single? Yep, she is. Of course she's single. She fucked up in the beginning. That's why y'all weren't together. And while I'd love to believe that's irrelevant, I can't help but wonder if there's more. Hey, like I said, I think there's more. Okay? The fact that my wife wasn't invited, but someone I dated for 4 years, definitely raises those eyebrows, the people's eyebrow. And it feels incredibly disrespectful. Not just to my wife, but to our marriage. Whether it's intentional or not, it sends a message I can't ignore. You cannot ignore that message. And you better not ignore that message. Okay? Let's see. Not the A. My parents have called to say that I was overreacting and that I should keep the peace. And your sister should have kept the peace by including your wife without notice of any, without mentioning any of the other shit that would go on, because that would have truly kept the peace. But your sister wanted to smoke to begin with, and damn it, you brought the wood. So no, you're not the asshole. Your sister remains friends with your ex. Was she friends with your ex before the relationship? Like, is that her best friend? Good question. To clarify, no. To clarify, no. My wife is not friends with my ex. My sister is. They became close during the time I was dating my ex, and they stayed in touch. That's right. So your sister was showing you the side of the fence she was playing on then. You just wasn't paying attention to it. All right? As for the size of a wedding, it's not small. There's around 100 guests, including extended family, co-workers, some mutual friends we haven't seen in ages. So, it definitely isn't a tight list or a tight guest list for the situation. Yeah, look, man, you're not the A. All right, your sister's the asshole. And even your parents might even be a little bit assholeless in this for sticking up for your sister. But, like I said, man, you keep doing what you're doing. Keep that line in the sand. Just know where you stand, right? And there's a reason I'm out here telling everybody, like, look, when you out there playing around doing what you do, keep that head on the swivel. Because not everybody has your best interest in hand. And it goes to show that your sister doesn't have your heart in her hand as she should. So, with that being said, you not the A. And everybody else, leave what you feel in the comments. I want you to go ahead and enjoy the day. And if you were to send a gift, I already told you what to send. Send her that bag of shit and leave them with a surprise. Oh yeah. Peace out.